Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with verified investing.
The markets are dumping a little bit in the morning session. We need to be advised on which direction it's going to go, if it continues in one direction, or if the buyers are going to step up and bid this back to the promised land and take out all-time highs. Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole. In this video, I'm going to go over a couple different support and or resistance levels depending on which direction the stock market goes. I'm going to go over Oracle, AVGO, SMH, and a few other charts for you guys. So that way, if the markets continue to fall, we have some support levels. If the markets decide it wants to catch a bid and continue higher, I have some resistance levels for us to watch. The first one I'm going to go over is IREN. It is dropping a little bit in the pre-market. It's currently trading at $38.70. As you can see, here's the pre-market data. For me, the first long level is an aggressive level sitting at $35.81 with a secondary gap fill in the charts at $33.78. If the buyers want to continue or to step back up, buy the dippers, come in, and it takes out this pivot top right here at $43.59. My first shortable level is $46.84. IREN is a momentum play, so if it continues to fall, it is likely to head to this gap fill and could even head this to this secondary gap fill. But if the buyers decide to send this higher, again, it's a momentum play, so it could easily get up to this $46.84 level. And again, my secondary level is $48.91 for a short today. Let's go ahead and go into Oracle. I'd mentioned we are the last video on Friday. This downsloping trend line we've been monitoring for quite some time. My first shortable level is $201.99 and never got there. This would be off of the table based on this price consolidation right here and the fact that we did briefly get above this downsloping trend line. It is likely that we're going to get a little rejection, continued sell-off. For me, my first long level is $180.04. I don't know that it's going to get down there today. You're going to get some bids probably getting, if it gets back down to about $188. So those of you who are aggressive, that would be your long level. For the bears out there, you're wanting it to break $180.04, and you could see a lot more downside. For the bulls, you actually want to recapture this downsloping trend line, push through this 201 level. And then today, for me, my first shortable level, if we can get a nice bid to the upside, is $210.57, knowing that I've got additional resistance sitting here at $223.14. AVGO has been something that we've been monitoring for quite some time. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you some levels on AVGO as well. So we are trading slightly lower on the morning session. $348 is where we're currently sitting in the pre-market. I have this upsloping trend line that we've been monitoring for quite some time. So for me, this trend line goes all the way back from the April lows, secondary hit right here from the 20th of November. And then we got below this. So because price action got below the support trend line, once price action gets back up to here, for me, $361.78 is the line that I'm looking to short. Not only is this wide range red bar candle, but it would also be a retrace to the scene of the crime, again at $361.78 for a short. If it decides it wants to get back inside or above this upsloping trend line, you are likely to head higher, probably coming up to this wide range red bar candle and this pivot top where you have additional price consolidation. For me, this would be a secondary short level, basically at $10 higher at $371.22. Nvidia is another stock it's not really doing a lot, but it has caught a nice bid over the last week and a half. It does seem to have a little bit more momentum, so it could hit that $200 level. Let's go ahead and jump into the Nvidia chart and show you what I'm seeing. So here's $193.59. You have this wide range red bar candle. There will be a lot of people who were stuck going long in this trade, thinking that after this big breakout, they were sitting pretty. And then all of a sudden it got rejected. They still hold, most likely they still held on to this position. And so then once you got an additional sell, then likely price is going to get back and get rejected at $193.59 based on this wide range red bar candle. If it does head above that, you have this wide range red bar candle at $196. But for me, my shortable level today, it's a less aggressive, is $199.05. So this is what I'm looking for in the chart of Nvidia. Like I was mentioning in the title, the SMH is getting a little bit of a sell. It was only down about 0.5%, so not a huge sell-off. We don't know which way the markets are going to end up going. The markets could continue to push up if we get this little bit of a dip. By the sell or by the dippers come in, can push us higher. So we got to be ready for that. So let's go ahead and jump into the chart of the SMH so we can see where those potential long levels are. For those of you who are aggressive, $356.27 is going to be that long level if we can get a continued sell-off. Again, this is an aggressive level. For me, my long level today would be $339.24. Not only do you have this gap in the charts with this wide range red bar candle, but you've also got additional support right above it at this upswing trend line, which is now again support. So this is going to be a lot of support in this area for the SMH. Now, if for some reason, we can reattack this red bar candle, this little doji candle, and get back above $365, you could get up to this gap in the charts. $370.89 is where my first shortable level is today, knowing that I've got additional resistance at this green bar candle, this gap in the charts at $374.10. ALB was a stock that we were monitoring yesterday or on Friday. $153.20 was my shortable level. It never got up there. Now it's pulling back a little bit. For those of you who are aggressive, I would be looking at $140.48. There's a little bit of a gap in the charts. It's not a major gap. However, there should be some people who are willing to buy this back up, knowing that this did get a little bit of a rise from this position. So then we can get another bid if it gets back down to $140.48. My first shortable level today, for those of you who are aggressive, is still $153.20. Just make sure that you're taking in consideration that if it recaptures this pivot top, your next level of resistance is going to be this wide range red bar candle, but then it could head up on ALB all the way to this gap in the charts right here that hasn't been filled at $169.48. So if it stops out on a 15, or if it closes above this high pivot on a 15-minute closing basis, look to stop out and then reattack this at $169.48. Right now, it's still, the markets are down again, like I was mentioning a little bit on the morning session, but we never know which direction it's going to continue to go. The first move could always be the wrong move. We need to be ready on either front. So the next one we're going to go over is MU. I did have an upside target of around $300. My first shortable level is $300.27. It looked like it was going to get up there, but then it paused at about $290. Now it's trading a little bit lower at $280. First long level for me is this retrace to this pivot high right here at $263.81. You could get a little bit of support above that at $266.20. However, I do anticipate a little bit of a flush of that level to this wide range green bar candle right here. And then if it does decide it wants to drop below that, your next level of support isn't going to really be until it gets down to $248.55. So these are the couple different levels you're looking for. $263.81 for those of you who are aggressive, and then $248.55 for those of you who are a little bit more conservative. Shortable levels, again, I still like the $300.27 level, with ultimately my upside for a short on a swing trade basis at $306.60. Tesla, we were monitoring as well. It is down a little bit on the day. Those of you who are aggressive, you should have this nice gap in the charts that once price action does retrace to this gap at $458.96, you should get a pretty decent bid to the upside. On the short side, if it does get to $500.58, this would be an aggressive day trade level. But for me, I think the max upside is $530.32. All right, Sandisk is another stock that's not really doing a whole lot. Yesterday, or on Friday, $265.88 was where I was looking to trade this on a day trade basis. Now, for me, if we can get back to $219.24, this would be my long level. based on this gap in the charts, knowing that it could flush out to $206.66. This can be a really volatile mover. So you can anticipate a $5 to $10 pullback or a bounce depending on where price action goes. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me this holiday week. It's going into the new year, so the volatility and the volume should be a little bit lighter than normal. January, we should start getting a little bit more volatility and more volume back in the markets. Everything is going to be dictated on the price and the amount of volume that is in a stock. So if there's less than 1 million shares traded within the first 30 minutes, that I'm no longer going to trade that. So when you're looking at stocks, when you're looking to short or go long, the momentum on these low volume stocks can continue to push that price action in the direction that it's currently going. So sometimes it's better to just sit back and allow the stock to do what it wants if there's not a lot of volume into it, and then wait for your really key support levels with volume and capitulation. Anyway, Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in less than 4 minutes. He's going to be talking about the huge dump out in silver. There was a huge surge all the way up to $84 an ounce, and now it's trading below 75. This is something you guys want to notice in the charts, and he'll go over that with you. If you guys are getting something out of this, thank you so much for sharing with your friends. Thank you for sharing or for liking, following, and subscribing. You guys are really awesome, and we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day, and take care.